So this is the infrared camera, and it has a visible light blocking filter and only allows infrared light through it. And then it has a filter inside the camera that's been removed in order to allow full spectrum in. So that's how it can actually capture this, is capturing truly infrared light only in its sensor. The way the camera works is there's an exposure button that I'm going to press here in the back, and that will let me change the shutter speed. And I can press up and down on the dials here in order to speed up or slow down my shutter speed. And I can go ahead and take a picture. And you can see that's fairly dark. ISO, it's bumping up the ISO automatically. So we have some sort of control of shutter speed and ISO, but not of aperture. And I can slow it down. So if you want movement or not, you can kind of control that here. And I'll go ahead and do a half a second picture and see what it does. Oh, okay, that actually came out. It's a little bright. So you can control the brightness a little bit. And I've just left it on auto ISO, but you could go ahead and make that adjustment. If you go into, I'm in the wrong menus, I think. No, okay. Go out of that. Huh. All right, I gotta look at the back of the camera to see what I'm really doing here. There we go. Okay, here I go. I can change my resolution, which of course 16 megapixels is the best, so I want to leave it there. I could set my ISO manually to 100, 200, whatever. I could set my white balance. And there is a few different settings here as I'm circling through them, right? So there was a much more blue-purple one. There is an auto white balance option here where I believe if I take a picture, it's supposed to calibrate to that, but it doesn't ever seem to work because we're not really working with normal spectrum light. There is metering modes, there is like high rate burst, and there's monitor luminance. I just wouldn't really change any of these except for the ISO. And auto is probably fine, but if you truly want to be able to change your exposure, well, 400 ISO is probably best. So now you can see if I take a picture, it's going to end up really overexposed because I'm at a half a second. So I can click on my exposure, and I'll bump that back up to maybe 60th of a second. All right, that seems pretty good. And then I might, just do what we call bracketing, which would be to take another picture, maybe a little bit darker, and maybe another one, 3 clicks, which would be a stop darker. All right, and now I've got, a few different options here. I'll do a playback here, and you can see the brightnesses. All right, so that one, the sky's getting a little bit bright. And that one, the bushes down to the bottom right there seem to be getting dark. But having a couple different shots at different brightnesses is probably a really smart idea in order to make sure we have something good to work with. It needs to be on a tripod almost always. I mean, I was using a 1/25th of a second, so it is possible to handhold it. It's only 16 megapixels. It's a point-and-shoot camera, so it's a good idea to just put it on a tripod to get the sharpest image possible.